My name is Adam Andrzejewski, and I'm the founder and CEO of OpenTheBooks.com. And you know our mission. Simply said, it's every dime online in real time. And last year we filed 47,000 Freedom of Information Act requests. It was the most in American history, and we captured $12 trillion worth of federal, state, and local spending across the country. We've got a great topic this week. Actually, a couple of topics. It's been a busy week. We're drinking water like it's coming out of a fire hose. Our team of auditors are hot on the job, going after waste, fraud, corruption, and taxpayer abuse. And without further ado, here is my co-host, Tamara Colbert. Hey, Tamara.
Hi there. Welcome, everybody. Riveting show as always. You're right. We have so much information, so many investigations. Let's get right to the man who is really under the spotlight, Elon Musk. So we know that he has made an offer for Twitter, but Adam, so some of Elon Musk's Twitter detractors essentially are speaking out of both sides of their mouth. What did Open the Books find out about Twitter?
So when Elon Musk decided he was going to buy Twitter, I guess, he keeps going back and forth, but he was going to spend $44 billion, at least at one point. There was 26 nonprofit organizations, all progressive, that basically wrote a letter to Twitter targeting advertisers, major U.S. advertisers, major U.S. corporations, saying, drop your advertising from Twitter if Elon Musk buys it, because, free speech is dangerous. And Elon Musk tweeted, he said, who funds these organizations? So, of course, OpenTheBooks.com were on it. And out of the 26 non-government organizations, 9 of them were dialed into the federal checkbook to the tune of nearly $11 million in fiscal year 2020.
So are Americans paying to have our Twitter feed managed by bots and these, Twitter managers? Are we paying for our own assault on the First Amendment?
So, who knew, you and I are paying $11 million into these organizations, these 9 nonprofits. Some of this was for pandemic aid. And look, at openthebooks.com, we could have taken 300,000, but it wasn't we weren't going to lay anybody off. Our employees' jobs weren't in jeopardy. We're a nonprofit. Same thing with these other organizations. They have millions of dollars in their bank accounts and on their balance sheets, and they took a lot of pandemic aid, but they also took grants from the United States federal government. Okay, so like Friends of the Earth in 2020 took a $1.2 million grant. You got organizations like Black Lives Matter that were on that letter. Okay, they took grants of $11 million from the Small Business Administration, forgivable loans of $19 million from the Small Business Administration. In 2020, while they were encouraging protesters in the streets, looting small businesses. Tamara, you can't even make this stuff up.
No, you can't. It's exactly why we just need to stop funding all this craziness, Adam. And the more that we unpack all of this, the more we find out about the connectivity. So we're going to pivot from Elon Musk and continue to focus on taxpayers funding some really outrageous things. And that is that the meeting in Davos, Switzerland, right? This World Economic Forum. Well, Open the Books has uncovered the tens of millions of dollars that American taxpayers have spent to support the elites of the elites who don't actually need our money to have this forum. Tell us about what we found out about Davos and what the taxpayers have been supporting.
So it's been on hiatus, at least in person, because of the pandemic, but now it's back. And on Sunday, the pretty people, the powerful, the elites, they're all gathering in this very sweet village in Switzerland called Davos for a confab, a gathering of the World Economic Foundation. And this is put together, the founder of this advocates for the Great Reset, which is basically more government control on everything. He basically says that, government, despite corruption, the reason it's been unsuccessful because it doesn't have enough power. It needs to tax you more and spend more and surveil you more, and then government will be successful to solve all the great problems in the world. That's the Great Reset. That's what he's pitched at Davos last year when it was an online forum. And we found that the American taxpayer has subsidized his organization to the tune of $60 million over the course of the last 8 years. So during the Obama years, Tamara, it was roughly $27 million. And it grew during the Trump years to $33 million of grants, U.S. taxpayer federal grants funding the World Health Organization for 2 programs that they have in Africa. Now, they can't make the argument they need taxpayer money. And I'll tell you why. Their memberships range from 65 grand a year to 650 grand a year. Tamara, if you want to go to this conference, a regular ticket is 28,000. The coveted badge, that's 50,000 per person. Okay. I mean, these are the elites of the elites, the billionaire tycoons hobnobbing with all of the powerful politicians from around the world that want to constrict your freedom and liberty. And you and I are funding them to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. So
have we uncovered exactly why we're funding them? That is not, it's just when you look at the amount of money and the elite of the elite, as you're mentioning, why should Americans be funding something like this?
Well, we shouldn't be. And that's why our Substack column is called "It's Time That the U.S. Taxpayer Defunds the Davos Sponsor, the World Economic Forum." And like I said, they can't make the argument that they need working and middle class money from America to run anything. They've got all the connections in the world. They've got all the money in the world. They've got access to all the money in the world, almost quite literally.
So Adam, why is it really important for taxpayers to stay engaged? And what, if anything, can we do to even stop the funding of Davos, to look at these nonprofits that are even funding Twitter and helping to tamp down on free speech? The American taxpayer, boy, we have a really heavy lift to figure all of this out and pay attention all the time.
So the first thing you need to do, and everybody watching the program, is you need to subscribe to our Open the Book Substack column. That way you get all of our investigations in real time. These things are meant for education, to educate the American people, the pundits, the politicians, the would-be politicians, the challengers to the incumbent political class. All of us, we need to educate ourselves on just what's happening in this country, whether it's over the National Institutes of Health. Last week, we talked about the $350 million hidden royalty stream that we've uncovered through our lawsuit, or any of the other investigations that we do, like the 2 we did this week on the Elon Musk detractors dialed into the tune of 10 million into our money at the federal level, or Davos itself, $60 million over the last 8 years. And who knew? You and I, we funded that organization.
So, Adam, we've had multiple questions online. Thank you very much for being engaged viewers tonight, everybody. Who is in charge of Davos and the World Economic Forum?
That's that Klaus Schwab who wrote the book, The Great Reset, the great constrictor of freedom and liberty-loving people that wants to, gut our individual freedoms in this country. That's who the founder is and the leader of it is.
So we've got to do everything we can to be engaged. And where should we direct people to go? Not just our Substack, but they can get a link to our Substack where?
So just post it in the comments right here. If we just post an article, then you can sign up for the Substack. And what that does is every time we post an investigation, immediately you get an email on it.
Fantastic. And you can always visit openthebooks.com. You're going to find some of Adam's most important television interviews up there. You're going to find all of our most current investigations and other breaking stories. Adam, can you just highlight, we had a breakthrough with Newsweek this week and have a current opinion piece of yours in Newsweek. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so Newsweek published our editorial on the $350 million hidden royalty stream over at the NIH, National Institutes of Health. These royalties over the last decade were paid out to 1,700 scientists, and every single one of them is a potential conflict of interest. So we're proud to be in Newsweek this week. We also were highlighted on the same investigation by Hollywood comedian Russell Brand. He did a 14-minute video regarding our investigation of that $350 million hidden royalty stream at NIH, and it's got over 1 million views on it. And I'm proud to say that today on Fox News, the show outnumbered Emily Compagno gave us a direct shout out. We really appreciate it, Emily. Thank you. On our investigation into Elon Musk's detractors and the $11 million of our money that is funding them.
So we really appreciate all of you watching. You are forwarding, you are sharing these live components, but most importantly, you are sharing some of our most important pieces and investigations. And we appreciate that because guess what? We don't take any money from the government. It's all up to us to share this information and get it out to the public because Adam, what else can they do? Last thought.
So let's just, take the first step. Sign up for our Substack page. We'll put the link in the comments.
And you can always support us because we take no government money. We are fully funded by an average American citizen who appreciates the investigative work that Open the Books does, that the Congress has relinquished. So thank you so much for watching. Go to Substack. Read these pieces, check out our Newsweek article, forward, share, and we'll see you back here next Thursday at 5:40 Eastern, 4:40 Central.